back with another episode of MITA Unshackled at our, I got to figure out how many years we've been doing this and what annual golf course this is. I mean, because we do it twice a year and we do it in a while, so I don't know like the official number. We just keep doing it. That's kind of like how I live my life. But we're back at MITA Unshackled, back on the golf course. It's a beautiful day out. We're interviewing people here at the Weedmaps golf tournament, we'll call it.
Weedmaps and MITA.
Weedmaps and MITA. Weedmaps is the title sponsor. Weedmaps is like a member of the family, so it's even weird calling you a title sponsor. But you help put this whole thing together, and we're doing some great work for veterans. It's a wonderful, wonderful turnout. There's people all over the course. But I'm pleased to be joined by one of my friends in the Weedmaps hierarchy family. Jackie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day out here.
Yeah, isn't it?
Not staring at a screen all day.
Isn't it a perfect day in Arizona?
It really is.
So we're doing a little profile on Jackie, because Jackie is one of those individuals in the cannabis industry that you just need to know. And she's working with a company that everyone knows. And she's been with it since 8.5 years, right?
8.5 years, yeah.
8.5 years. Just put your mic up a little bit. But let's start from the beginning, Jackie, because I like to highlight the fact my uncle, for example, Uncle Mike, started using cannabis in the 60s before college, went to Vietnam, taught them how to use cannabis in Vietnam, worked for World Bank, worked for Bank of America, vice president. 75 years later, 50 years later, he retires at age 75. He's been smoking cannabis for 55 years, every single day. He hangs out with me all the time. He's the sharpest, healthiest guy that I know at 78. And not a day went by where he didn't consume cannabis, and he's one of the most successful professionals, individuals, and humans that I've ever met. That message, it is always important to continue to get that message out. So you first got introduced to cannabis at age 16?
16, yeah. I was with my older brother and his buddies at the park on Valentine's Day, and they're like, "You want to try this?" I was like, "Why not? Try it." And I loved it.
Yeah.
Kind of slowly got into it, had to hide it from the parents back in the day. They're like, "We know she's smoking weed," but I was still getting A's on honor roll.
Right.
I did quit sports only to get a job because I wanted to make money, and let's get real, I wasn't going to make the college program or anything. So for sports, that is. And so got a job, got good grades, and continued to smoke cannabis, and haven't stopped except when I was pregnant and breastfeeding were the only real big tolerance breaks I took. But yeah, I love it. It's a part of my DNA, and now I got to be in the industry and marry the professional and personal life. So it's been great.
And it's always important to remind people, Mom and Dad, she used cannabis, she got A's. You've got to understand cannabis is a balancing substance, and you have to always seek balance. And if it helps you, it benefits you, it's your right to have it.
Absolutely.
We always continue to advocate for that until we get federal legalization and a better understanding of the cannabis plant in general beyond that. So you went to business school?
I did, yeah. Went to Cal State Fullerton for undergrad and Chapman for business school. I was talking to the dean about cannabis legalization. I'm like, hey, I should do the big strategy course with my team on cannabis. And let's teach people about this. This is going to be real money. People are going to be investing, and we need to actually make this more, have more education, make people more aware of it. And he approved it.
What year was that?
That was 2014.
And that was 2 years before California.
Yeah. And so I reached out to Doug Francis on LinkedIn, who went to Chapman. So I was going to school there, and he took a meeting with me, and the rest is history. I was going to go work for Ford or Nike or some, big multinational, and my parents thought I was crazy, and my sisters were telling people I was working at a dispensary, and I went to, which is great, but I was like, it's a little different, we list all the dispensaries. We're a tech company, so.
And Doug is, of course, the individual or one of two individuals that started Weedmaps in his garage?
Yeah, he's not necessarily the garage, no. Co-founder Justin Hartfield was a computer engineer, is a computer engineer, smoked weed forever, and was like, why can't I find the dispensaries online anywhere? And coded Weedmaps in 2008. And so I joined 7 years after it was founded. Yeah, it was still pretty small then.
And we'll just say it was like a cave in Humboldt County, not a garage.
Yeah, we can just...
The legend builds.
Like what does 420 mean? Where does that come from?
The legend goes. And Doug landed here in a metal-shaped object from another planet.
Right.
So you joined Weedmaps in 2014. Which is when I kind of got to know Weedmaps. 2012, 13, 14, 15 was my education about the Weedmaps legacy, culture, tradition, all those wonderful things. And so what was your first position at Weedmaps?
I was Doug's chief of staff. So shared an office and just helped him get shit done every day.
Did he have a chief of staff before that?
No.
So he just said, I need a chief of staff.
He's like, I need someone to help, continue to make me more efficient, help me work across all these departments. He was the president and COO at the time and then became the CEO. And so he would be like, Jackie, go, start this team or go help me fix this problem. So I was kind of like the fixer and helped him in many ways. So I got to learn all the pipes of Weedmaps, how it works, how people work together. So I always joke that my superpower is getting shit done there.
No, that's incredible. And so did you have an office in that, in Orange County, Irvine, right?
Yeah.
That 2-story building? Was
Yeah,
that
we're still there.
Oh, you're still there?
If anyone wants to come, we're in Irvine, so...
Is the dab room still there?
Oh, we still have the smoke room. But speaking of I smoke weed every day. I can't do it at work though. I just want to chill and not be in a million meetings when I do that. So
and there's different types of
I used to be able to, but now I just
but a lot of people
I need to wait till after the kids go to bed now.
But a lot of people vape during the day, so there's a little bit. Then I'm going to use a lot to sleep, because it helps you rest, focus, and then I'm done. Okay, all my responsibilities are finished. Time to relax.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
so I know you guys have that room. I love that room. When I first saw that room, I'm like, I love this
It
industry.
got remodeled too. You got to come back. Yeah, we remodeled the office 2 months before COVID started.
Yeah.
And then everyone went remote, and now that probably half of us are back in the office, it's we woke up from this dream and it's remodeled and beautiful.
I don't think I've been there since 2015 or 16. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Same skeleton with the fresh paint. And looks good though.
No, I love that. It's a really cool community of professionals, and you guys have always been amazing to us and amazing to the industry and amazing to the community, the patients, the consumers, everybody. So you worked as Doug's chief of staff, and then I know Weedmaps went through a transition, it went public, and then at that point, Doug kind of retired, or?
He became our executive chairman of the board.
Okay, but will you continue to stay as chief of staff?
So my background's in marketing. I'm a marketer by trade.
Right.
So I went into the marketing team. I built out Weedmaps Learn, which is the educational platform, Weedmaps News, a lot of B2B, B2C programs Best of Weedmaps. So was really focused on building programs and campaigns that could just continue on. And all those are still going strong. Everyone loves Best of Weedmaps. So that'll be kicking off soon in January or February is when we're announcing the winners. So
would you say Weedmaps is also a pretty good consumer education platform where people can, first time people can learn about cannabis?
Weedmaps Learn has everything from how cannabis works with your body, plant science, if you want to get real geeky with what nutrients and mediums to grow in, all of that stuff. Legal laws by state. We even have it's a Wikipedia style glossary and dictionary, almost like an encyclopedia, I guess, where any kind of weed term you can look up. So it's perfect for that.
So that section is kind of like the Yelp meets Wikipedia of cannabis.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
it's easy to navigate, and kind of, like I said, it has those categories. You can pick and choose what you want to learn about products, or how to take a dab. It's a little intimidating for some people at first, or even how to roll a joint. So from education, from the nerdy science stuff, which I like, to the consumption stuff, which is what everyone likes.
Yeah, it's interesting. And because out there's millions and billions of people that need to learn about the cannabis industry, the cannabis plant, cannabis culture, the cannabis community, the cannabis history, all that kind of stuff. And they don't know where to go. I'm surrounded by 100, 500 people every day, so I just ask questions everywhere. But it's great to have that resource online, so that's really good. So were you the chief marketing officer? What was
I was at that point a director of marketing.
Director of marketing?
I was building out those teams, and I would hire directors of marketing to go take the place of me in that team that I built, and they'd go send me on another special ops mission. So
she gets to listen to all my crazy ideas, like Weedmaps, people streaking, major sporting events with the big WM.
I think that's your idea.
Well, they can't endorse that. I just need to get it funded. So, but they had nothing to do with that. I just need to get funded. And so, streakers across the world, World Cup games. No.
I don't know anything about that. But sounds exciting.
Skydiving out of the air with a flag into the National Football Championship.
Like a squirrel suit.
With a squirrel suit. You're enhancing. I was just thinking a WM flag.
There you go.
Behind them, but in a squirrel suit.
Like Superman.
Why not? Well,
Superbud man.
They had nothing to do with it.
We've tried to buy a Super Bowl ad like every year for the last 4 years. They always turn us down. So that's why we did that broccoli campaign a couple of years ago, because people call weed broccoli, like kind of slang terms. And so we did this commercial and this big marketing campaign with like literally a talking broccoli, like a guy that had a broccoli head. And he was just like, just call me by my name, and really trying to say, like, let's put it out there. Let's normalize cannabis. Like you see alcohol ads all over the Super Bowl everywhere. And cannabis isn't out there killing millions of people a year, and alcoholism and heart attacks. So like, why don't we normalize this and talk about it instead of calling it broccoli or slang or doing it in the shadows? And so since we couldn't buy the ad, we did this campaign on how we can try to get others to open up the door for advertising and just accept us as an industry.
Right. Can you buy a whole section of like 30 by 40? So that's like 120 seats, so $5,000 a piece. So you buy that whole section. That's what is that, $1 million? I don't know, do the math. But then everybody has like a white piece of cardboard, and then at once they all hold up the giant WM behind like the
Love it.
I think we can do that.
We're going to start contracting you for marketing ideas.
Well, let's say, 120 times 50, it's about $700,000. Everybody walks it.
It's cheaper than a Super Bowl ad.
Yeah, and then everybody at once like holds the thing up like during a field goal.
Yeah.
Or during an extra point, and it's a giant WM, right there. I mean, I don't know why
That's
other
some
people
good
don't
impressions.
do that.
I
What are
don't
they
know.
going to do? Like edit it out, Eric? I think
knows?
again they
We
had
would
nothing.
really piss off the NFL,
They had
which I know we
nothing-
don't want to do.
Weedmaps had nothing to do with it. Well, I'm sorry if it happens. Dimitri Downing did it. They had nothing to do with it. Just
MITA's 4 letters, right? It's too many seats. We just the W.
just with funding, I'd be dangerous. I like that one. I'm always thinking about wild guerrilla tactics in anything, in any industry, not just cannabis.
yeah.
I just love marketing's fun.
It really
It's
is.
all about promotion, getting attention, getting views and stuff. And so that's just a fun thing in life. But back to you. So you were marketing director, and then what happened?
Our COO was like, hey, we need some more sales leadership, and cannabis marketing so well. Like, why don't you try selling it and partnering with the clients? And I said, great, let's give it a shot. And it's been a few years, and I love it. I love being closer to the industry and partnering with the clients on ideas like this that we can uplift, the entire community together. So that was a few years ago, maybe like 2.5 years ago. And so now I run the entire sales team, just kind of, transitioned over the last couple of years. And
And
we've got
CRO.
I'm the VP of Revenue.
VP.
Yeah.
Who's
One day
CRO?
CRO. We don't have one right now.
Okay, I need a title like
Acting,
that. Eric,
acting,
we need to give me some. I have like JD there, but I've never been like a CEO or CRO or COO or CMO. I want one of those.
I mean, you're the CEO, CRO, CMO of MITA.
Yeah, I'm just founder. I tell everybody, MITA, take whatever titles you want to. Just remember, I'm the founder. I'm in charge.
Yeah.
And they can be VP of whatever. They can
There
be
you go.
Executive director, whatever.
There you go.
So now you're not CRO, but you're in charge of the revenue, charge of sales.
Yep.
And
Yep.
what are your? But you still touch marketing though?
Oh, yeah. I mean, half of our marketing, field marketing team is out here. We work in lockstep together because a lot of the stuff we try to do has this B2B to C angle. So how do we partner with our clients to then, go together in a market to uplift the consumers there and to drive business? How do we turn that culture into commerce? And so we need marketing to do that. We need to be able to bring them along with us in partnership with the clients and just build cool stuff together. So we work a lot with them on what events should we be in, what states should we prioritize, how much marketing budget in each state. Like, we have a lot to say in that, and we just partner on it together. So our strategies are in lockstep.
And Weedmaps is in most states in the union.
We're in all states. Yep.
It would
Yep.
seem.
Puerto Rico is really good for us too. If you're ever down there, use the map.
And
In Canada, of course, we were in Spain and everything, and then during kind of our, go public phase and some of the grayness in Europe, we just started to focus on the Americas. But I hope we get back out there, especially what's going on in like Thailand, and then Germany's legalizing, Spain, Switzerland. There's a lot going on internationally.
I still like that rediscover the Americas through Weedmaps campaign.
Yeah.
Get all those Germans, English, and French to travel through Colorado, Washington, after they understand from Weedmaps in Europe that in order to navigate the dispensaries and the brands, etc., you go through Weedmaps, and then you can rediscover the Americas. You can do it without the
love
Christopher
it.
Columbus and the hemp sales and all that kind of stuff. It's just a simple tagline, Run a
Yeah.
thing. That's I love you guys. I wish
Oh,
you guys
thank
the
you.
most success in the world. So, what is next for you? You guys are here at the golf tournament today. Where do you go tomorrow?
Well, I mean, half the team's going to Oklahoma tomorrow, some others to Miami for work, but me, I'm headed back, but we'll be back in Arizona a lot next year.
What's happening in Oklahoma? How come I wasn't invited?
Cowboy Cup, I think.
The Cowboy Cup.
I think that's what it's called, yeah.
Is that a B2C event?
It's B2C, but it's a big, like, it feels like kind of like those high time cups used to be.
Yeah.
Back in, like, at least our California Prop 215 days. Like, that's kind of the vibe I get from what I've heard of that cup. But I think it's one of the biggest in the state.
And you guys do
So it should be
B2B. You work with industry members. You work with employees. You work with owners.
Oh, yeah.
You work with consumers. You work with patients. You work with
All
and
of it. Yeah, a lot of our marketing budget is even chunked out to even, how do we just like uplift client programming? Because all of our clients are spending money on their own marketing, advertising, their own events, their own, guerrilla style campaigns. And so how do we help arbitrage some of their costs and just uplift them and be partners? And then we kind of kill two birds with one stone because we're making our clients happy, our name's out there more, and it's just this win-win-win for everybody.
And so if I'm a brand out there in the cannabis ecosphere, and I want to get, better known throughout the community, you guys have programs to work, because I think a lot of people assume from the beginning that obviously it was a way to find retail, but delivery services, brands, everything else is on the platform
yeah.
too.
Everything
What else?
else.
Am I missing other?
Well, mostly the retail, so deliveries and dispensaries, the brands, doctors. We have events coming out soon and venues. So consumption lounges. There hasn't really been a good experience on
Consumption
Weedmaps for
lounges.
consumption lounges. So we're building that, and we have beta launching soon, which is going to be really exciting. So
Right.
they can have like reservation systems and like events calendars. And then I know a lot of the retailers and brands, a lot of their strategy is like you're on, Weedmaps and other marketplaces, and then you're in the field, meeting the community where they are in events. And so we're going to be building out like an events calendar. And so they can show consumers, hey, this is where Jeter's going to be this month. This is where these are all the events happening at JARS next month. And so people can actually identify where they can go interact with the community, because there's really not that many places where you can find that. So I'm really excited for those to come down the pipeline, just to try to continue to connect the community closer. Because for us, we really want to get in front of those consumers and help our clients get in front of consumers of people who smoke weed every day like us, or that are real advocates, because they're going to be the educators. We can go and we do educate at scale, but we want to educate those folks of how to shop legal. Where do they search? How do they search reviews? How do they find the best promotions and brands? What's new and hot? And then when they're over Thanksgiving, it's like, I want to try gummies. Where do I start? All they have to say is, I just download Weedmaps, search gummies, and there you go.
This is like one of my favorite kind of cannabis events, because you can have you smell the
I love
cannabis
it.
in the
It
air.
smells delicious.
And
Yeah.
the gentle calming effect of like secondhand smoke comes through here, and it's absolutely a relaxing thing for a non-consumer like me. It's not intoxicating, it's not mentally debilitating, but it's just calming and relaxing, and it's nice.
Yeah.
These are my favorite type of cannabis events. Sometimes it can be too much, and then
Sometimes it can be a hot box, which those they have their moments for fun. But this is nice out here, and it's refreshing, and you can tell like it's just good vibes all day out here. Everyone's there's a lot of competitors out here, but everyone's friends. Everyone's in it for the same mission. You can feel that.
And then sometimes it's too little, like where the business events where there's not cannabis isn't allowed, which is kind of, it's just still kind of weird.
Everyone's like, do you have a joint? Do you have a joint? Can I hit your pen?
Yeah, and you have,
and you're like, I've shared my pen with like 30 people. Where'd it go?
and no disrespect for those conferences that have to abide by silly rules, but you have like owners of companies that have like 30 or 80 employees that have a backpack filled with samples in their back, and like, this is what I'm doing in Illinois. This is what I'm doing in Florida.
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of weird,
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
that is kind of a novelty that does make the industry a little bit more, interesting. And I think a lot of what the industry once had is disappearing, and it's becoming a little bit more corporate, a little bit more widget. But I know MITA is trying to keep that spirit alive. We have tremendous respect for the legacy, for the culture, and for the community. And
I think that's why we get along so well.
yeah, and you guys are the originals. You guys are the originals. So anything that we can do to support you, anything that we can do to help you, we're glad to. Any other projects or programs that you guys are working on at Weedmaps right now that you want to highlight that you think are like interesting or different or coming up? Another attempt at a Super Bowl ad? My Super Bowl ad.
That'd be sick. It's in Vegas this year, right?
Yes. Yes.
That sounds awesome.
Yes.
I mean,
while she tells us this, I'm going to do the math on those seats, Eric.
on the seats.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, for us, it's just, now that everyone's kind of back to real life after COVID, just getting back in the field in person, throwing some really cool events, some bespoke events next year, which will be great. Events like I talked about in the sense of letting retailers and brands list those. And we're building out some really cool new features for brands. We've got, of course, all the retailers and deliveries on the map, but now it's time to add a lot of value and to get the brand's name out there. So there'll be some good stuff coming.
I like that.
Yeah.
We are all about MITA USA is going to be whatever we can do to support the brands in regards to advocacy, whatever we can do to support the brands in regards to migration and relationships and promotion, networking. That's we're going to focus on brands as well. So we look forward to working closely with you on that.
Absolutely.
And I'm afraid that it's going to cost too much because we're looking at the 30 by 40 section, which is a reasonable square for everybody to flip their placards up. You know what I'm saying? That would be 120 seats, and then times say 6,000 a piece, right? We're looking at $720,000, right?
I mean, it's half the cost of a Super Bowl ad.
Yeah,
at least.
$720,000.
I think it was like a 30-second. I don't even know.
Plus probably about $10,000 for the placards. A big.
I'll let you pitch this to my legal team.
No. Look, you guys will have nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that $800,000 plus the cost of my legal to get Dimitri Downing out of jail. I'll have to hire people too. That's right. So I got to put $300. Eric, are you in for $300 plus Super Bowl ticket?
Perfect.
$300. No, I'll get you out of jail. You have to get him in jail too. I don't know how that's
We
going
need
to work.
less people going to jail for weed.
Yeah.
Weed adjacent things.
I'll get volunteers.
There you go.
That's it. I'll bring the placards.
We'll just sell it like, who wants to go to the Super Bowl? All you have to do is put this shirt on, hold this sign.
I'll carry the 120 signs, and then I'll have all of them hand them out, and I'll give them a $100 bill each, and then they can all
They've
pop
got to
it
be
up.
fold up so they can hide them in their jacket.
Yeah. Well, because you have nothing to do with it, so you're not part of the planning. Shh.
I have no idea what you're talking
Okay. So we'll come up with something. We'll get Elon Musk to put a PWM on that space rocket or something.
Oh,
There's a name.
I'm a 2 Tesla family. I love that guy.
Somebody did
That's
somebody did some weed in space, and wasn't there
Did they?
something? Yeah, there was.
He would do that.
That wasn't him, but
Oh.
there was something else.
I don't know. I didn't hear about the weed in space.
Yeah. I think NASA would probably frown on that. I think it was an independent thing. Somebody parachuted something. I don't know. I'll have to Google weed, space, cannabis.
Yeah,
Doesn't
probably maybe
matter.
Richard Branson or something did that with
Yeah.
his space program.
I am one phone call away from Richard Branson, so maybe we can get him. I need to get in touch. If I had connections to Elon Musk, I could do some funky stuff.
Yeah, I was
So-
living in Austin for a couple of years, and I was like, I gotta run into this guy.
Well,
Go down to the Gigafactory.
I am thrilled to be your friend, and I'm
Same.
excited. I know you're a mother of 2, which is absolutely fantastic. It's important to me for reasons that you have recently found out. And so I applaud you for your success in
Thank
your
you.
3 careers,
Yeah,
because you have 2 kids and you
Yeah.
have Weedmaps. And that is impressive.
it's a balance, but the company supports it, So I leave at 5, and I'm a mom from 5 to 8, and if I gotta log back in, which I usually do, I make it happen. But
Did you get
it's great.
Did you get straight A's in college too?
I don't not like straight A's, but I was definitely honor roll.
Honor. Okay. Honor.
Yeah, but there was some B's in there, but a lot of A's.
I
For
was a
sure.
2
I love school. If I could just keep going and didn't have to pay for it, I probably would. I'm that type. I like it.
You're a model citizen of the cannabis community, working for a model company in the cannabis community.
you.
I was a 2.0 student in law school, and I frowned upon my friends who smoked pot. And then
In law school, yeah?
yeah, in the 90s. And then in 2000, when I came to understand and I was educated about choice and freedom, and it was a giant awakening and unraveling of this government nonsense that's been placed upon us, all my friends started to come to me and say, Dimitri, we were smoking pot during school, and you were always throwing us out of the,
Like, you
parties
smell.
and stuff.
Get outta here.
And you were drunk the whole time. And I had to apologize, but it was fantastic because in my late 30s and throughout my 40s, I was re-educated and reawakened, and it was like being reborn. And since then, I started yoga, and I looked at other naturopathic remedies, came to understand alternative medicine, all kinds of things that I was just, indoctrinated, inculcated, whatever in culture, whatever those words are, to believe were not priorities because of the mainstream marketing machine that pushes pharmaceuticals
War on
and drugs and all
this
that
is your
stuff.
brain on drugs, the scrambled egg, and now we're seeing it's helping with Parkinson's. Have you seen those videos of people who take like THC in high doses and they're shaking from Parkinson's and then they just calm down?
Yeah.
Alzheimer's helping. There was a study just this week that I don't know how like legit it is or what the sample size was, but that people who smoke cannabis are more empathetic and emotional and want to connect more with people.
Yeah.
Which, like, connection and social interaction, that has a million health benefits when it comes to your mental health and happiness. So I think there's a balance, for sure.
Well, as long as you get straight A's, you have the merit to prove
The
that
kids are
you're
fed.
Well, you can't prove that, but you can prove that you got straight A's. I'm gonna go ahead and assume your kids are fed.
I can't get them to eat vegetables, but they eat.
But that's what always blew my mind. All my friends in law school who were like kicking my ass, getting straight A's, they're all high the whole time.
Yeah. All my friends, I didn't go to law school, but I was in business school at the time. A lot of my friends were in law school, and we were all getting high together.
And
for
that
sure.
is the objective measure of success in college and high school and law school in society is, did you get A's? Did you get 100%? And if you do that, you know what? You should damn well be allowed to do whatever you want to do.
My school was pissed at me. So I was like MBA Association president. I was working at Nike during my graduate internship, and I got an opportunity to get rehired there, go to Ford, like I said. And then I told them, I'm like, I'm actually going to go to this company called Weedmaps. And like they were going to like profile me on this stuff, and they like kind of like went dark on me for a while. But now they've come around like in the last year. And I think that doesn't have this like stain of their reputation, anymore. So, but it was pretty shocking.
Do they have a football team?
Yeah, but I don't know how good they are.
But
It's
so
like a smaller private school.
we do a dry run on my big thing in the back at their football game. Just so you get even with them. I'm just kidding. Not kidding.
No, we're all friends now. But it definitely, I can tell they were like, "What? You're not going to go to one of these great big companies?" I love to say, our alumni is that, but now I think they're proud. Just like my parents were like, "What are you doing?" But now everyone gets it.
It's all about the numbers. Let's assume their ticket costs are $50. That's only $6,000 plus the placards. We could get 120 people into the end zone. When the first touchdown is scored and the first extra point is kicked, everybody holds up the WM at once, and it's done.
This is where we just got to partner with some Greeks, the Greek system. Be like, hey, at your games, just do this.
I could bring like 120 of my friends across the border. And I'm just kidding.
I don't think I have 120 friends, so you got to do that across the border.
Bring everybody who's golfing.
I think like 12,000 just came in a couple days ago. We can grab a few.
Yeah, I'd like to see WM across the board.
I appreciate that.
I'm still waiting for my WM yoga headbands. So now it's
well, you have a hard hat, so it's one step in the headwear.
That is cool. This will be one of my kept items.
Yeah.
I will have.
You gotta be careful out here, shanking some balls.
No, this is gonna go on my mantle. This is cool. These are really
Yes.
These are collector's items.
Yeah, we're really happy to be here today.
All right.
It's a wonderful industry out here in Arizona. You can tell everyone wants people to win, right? It's not cutthroat. They really want the community to grow together. So
Jackie,
I love to see it.
People want to reach out to you. What's the best way for people to reach out to you?
Well, my email is jbecerra, so B as in boy, ECERRA @Weedmaps.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And your LinkedIn?
On LinkedIn's a good way too. Yep.
All right, cool.
But I need to make like a weed focused Instagram. It's just like me and all my kids, so I need. They follow me on Instagram, but like I don't think anyone cares to see that stuff.
Well, but unless you're for business purposes, unless you're promoting something, specific.
Yeah.
LinkedIn's good.
LinkedIn's great.
You got a
Find me on
professional
LinkedIn. Yeah.
identity. It's probably just a way. I waste time on Instagram. I pontificate. So nobody cares.
You on X?
No.
No, I feel like you would love that. Just telling everyone
Yeah.
what you think all the time.
Yeah, no, I spend too much time on Facebook and Instagram but I hang out professionally on LinkedIn, and
Yes,
LinkedIn has embraced
yes.
the cannabis
It
community.
really
so
has.
it's-
Like it used to be where nobody was on LinkedIn and you had to like get in the DMs on Instagram to reach out. Everyone's on LinkedIn now. It's excellent. So, yeah.
Excellent.
Good
Well,
place.
we
But
thank
thanks.
you for joining us, and we thank you for supporting the veterans charities that we're supporting here today, and
Our pleasure.
always with the ongoing support of MITA in the state of Arizona, cannabis legalization, state by state, country by country. And we look forward to interviewing you again a year from now and seeing where you're at.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be in touch way before that, though.
Yeah.
Keep doing some cool stuff.
All right.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dimitri.
And thank you for joining us.
Yes.
It's been another episode of Meet Unshackled from our, I got to get this right, like our 7th annual golf tournament.
You said 5, so just call it 6. It's like
Yeah.
right in the middle.
I don't know why I can't remember things, but it makes me a better Christian. So. Thank you.